What's up, guys, and welcome back to another windy day. So I'll probably be behind the camera a lot of this just so you can hear me and I'm not competing with the wind. Probably a lot of time lapse from that because I can't get decent audio on the tripod. But today we're going to be working on the old Crew Cab C20, which shouldn't need a ton of work, but I'm sick of looking at it sitting here not running. So there's just a handful of things we got to do. I bought it out of a pole barn and it didn't have any fuel tanks and it had a bad starter. So I already replaced the starter and I put a fuel tank in it, but I never bolted the bed back down and I never hooked the fuel system back into the fuel pump. It's a 6.5 diesel automatic. So yeah, we got to hook the fuel pump up, bolt the bed down. It's gonna need batteries, some new battery cables. Probably end up replacing this crunched fender. It's not really hurting anything, but I have another one, so might as well get it. And then I got some different mirror brackets since these are rotting through pretty bad on both sides. I'll have to do quite a bit of cleaning on the interior, but it's just full of parts. It's not really that dirty. Put the dash all back together. Probably replace this ignition because the little ears for turning it are broke off. And you kind of need those ears on a 6.5 diesel. Holding the damn key on long enough to get them to start. Engine's probably going to need glow plugs. They don't work very well. Battery cables, batteries. Yeah, we're pretty much kind of just sort of reviving it. It's not really that dead, but it needs enough work that I might as well record doing it. So yeah, we'll get started. We'll hook up the fuel lines first for the pump, and then get to work on moving it into the garage so I'm not fighting this wind to talk to you guys while I do the rest. Well, in case any of you guys were wondering exactly how lazy I am, when I said I put the fuel tank in and I didn't hook up the fuel system, this is what I meant. That rubber line right there, oh come on, focus, not my finger. That rubber line needs to go on that fitting. That's hooking up the fuel system on this truck. And I just never did that because apparently I'm the laziest person in the whole world. And then also, I guess I must have wired it and forgot, because every wire here is black and has stupid clamp-on ends on it that are corroded to hell, which is why we're going to just put all new cables on it. This one's real gnarly. Look at the blue death hanging out there. Gross. I like this wire how it's red, and then it's yellow, and then it's black, but it's a positive, and the rest of it's black. So that makes it fun, but we'll figure it out, I guess. Stupid. Alright, so we have two batteries put in here, and both jump packs, which I know what you're saying. Oh, it looks so nice out. That seems really excessive. And you would be right if this was any other engine. But this is a 6.2, or a 6.5, I mean. And 6.5s and 6.2s run on different rules of physics from every other engine. If it's below 50 degrees, which it's 43 right now, it might as well be absolute zero as far as this thing is concerned. So, we need all the voltage we can get. And also we have bad battery connections. So instead of fixing that, we just put more voltage. More voltage will fix the problem. And then, because these naturally aspirated turds have just this big giant open hole into the intake manifold, there is, what is that? Is that a zip tie? Leaf stem. But yeah, it's not really effective spraying ether into them because they don't really have enough vacuum to suck anything into the cylinders. So what you actually want to do, this old pipeliner trick, is you soak a rag in gasoline and then you cover the whole intake hole, and that is supposed to make the air spicy enough to explode in there, because we don't really have any prime right now either. So we're going to give this a shot and see what it does. Hopefully we got enough juice that we can actually turn this motor over fast enough to make explosions happen and dinosaurs and stuff turn from liquid to smoke form. So, start it up and run the glow plugs because it needs all the help it can get. Especially because apparently I didn't put much fuel in when I put this tank. So that might be a problem too, but we're going to try it. So 3, 2, 1, go, I suppose. Yeah, that's definitely not enough batteries. But maybe we can crank it long enough to pull some fuel towards the motor at least. 8 volts cranking, that's enough. That's good for it. You can hear it kind of shuddering. That's the spicy air doing its job. It just doesn't have any fuel to ignite. So we might actually have to open up the top of the injection pump and direct prime this thing. Or drag it into the garage, but at this point that would be admitting defeat. I already carried the batteries out here. We're going to make it run out here. So, yes, we'll do some investigating and see if we have any fuel at the filter or not. So we're going to check and see if this thing is getting fuel the best way I know how. Or the easiest way at least, which is taking off this fuel return line, and we'll just see if it's actually returning fuel. Because it can't return fuel if it's not getting any fuel. So I already took the clamp off. And we'll see if the line wants to come off. It's probably been on there since 1988 when the thing was, well, technically 2005 is when I was told this motor was put in. And then the truck was parked in no front plate. 2012, I believe. So we'll get the old Leatherman in there. See if we can't rip this line and then end our progress for the night while I go to the damn store that's an hour away. Well, it's really stuck, but it's wet. So I would say we're probably starting it, just barely starting to get fuel. I mean, there is a lot of truck here for that fuel to travel with just a little diaphragm pump pushing it. And those things are not good at pumping air. They're made to pump liquids, so we'll just have to keep trying it, I guess. The fact that there's fuel coming out here, though, is a good sign. So, there we go. Oh yeah, that is definitely fuel. So, something's working. We'll just get back to trying to crank it and see what that does. Otherwise, if it doesn't work after this attempt, we'll just push it in the garage and then diagnose it the quote-unquote proper way. So, yeah, we'll do one more attempt and then give up because that's easier. All right, attempt number 2. We'll see how this goes. If I can even turn the key. Glow plug. All right. Oh yeah, that's not happening. I can tell just by how slow it's cranking. We do not have enough volts. So we're gonna pull the batteries out, take them back into charge, and try again with more juice. And probably just move this in the garage the hard way. Because at least it's less windy in there, which is better for making vidges. Well, I changed my mind. Why should I carry those batteries all the way across the yard when I could just carry the truck all the way across the yard with my tow truck? This is what I built this for, so I might as well use it. And I'll tell you right now that I am not a towing professional, and this is not the proper truck to be doing this with, because I don't have a sling or anything right. So we're gonna do this the wrong way and probably break stuff. but it's fine. And I know you're thinking right now, oh, this guy just breaks shit and acts like a dumbass for content. Maybe, but maybe did you consider the fact that I act like a dumbass and break stuff because I have no regard for my own personal safety or property damage because they're just rusty junk pickups? Who cares? If I break it, whatever. I have 15 more I can steal parts off of to fix it. So yeah, we're just gonna hook that cable probably to something underneath there, suspension wise, lift it up, drag it into the yard, into the driveway, and then use the push bumper and just push it up in the garage, because that seems easier for me. And we got the tripod securely mounted to the bumper by our precision weighted tripod. That's not going anywhere, it's too heavy. So yeah, you guys will get a nice front row view as I hook this up and drag it, and you can let me know if I destroy the grill or dent the hood of this. So really it'll work out pretty good. Well, that went well enough. We're in the yard, or in the driveway at least. I definitely got the pole out way too long, so I had no weight on my steers. And we broke the hood ornament, but other than that, held together pretty good thanks to that tire keeping the cable from caving in the hood and the grill. I learned that lesson on moving an Astrovan around, that cable just destroy a hood. So now we drop it down, back around it, push it straight in the garage. All in a day's work, I suppose. See if the truck rolls away once it's unhooked. There we go. Pull this cable tight. That's a good spot for that tire. And yeah, these things have real sturdy sway bars, so that's all we went to. It's fine. It worked out. So yeah, we'll get to pushing this. I'll be right back. All right, we're behind it. Low gear for controllability. Let's see how well I got this lined up, because I just put it in neutral and shut the key off to lock the steering wheel. And we have contact. Okay, look at that. That's how you move a truck. Right into the garage. Oh, except for its steering. We're losing control. All right, we'll have to correct. We'll correct that steering and be right back, but it's working. It's gonna be in the garage soon enough. And that's how you move a truck with one person. Perfectly safely. No matter what OSHA tells you. Well, that kind of sort of worked. But it did get a lot of momentum coming in here, so we're going to have to move it back a little bit. Thankfully, my oxygen and acetylene bottles were here to catch it. So that's good. You know, you always want to have a good backstop when you're wildly pushing trucks with no control. So we'll get the come along, because some idiot thought it'd be a good idea to put a big rear winch on this truck, but not a front winch. We'll just hook it right there, we'll drag her back. Then we'll get the battery charger hooked up. I'll probably go get some more diesel tonight, just because that tank is low, and I'm guessing the sender's not picking it up very well. So yeah, that'll end it for tonight, and we'll be back in the morning. So it's morning, and we are back on the crew cab, but it's actually like 4 or 5 days later in the morning. And yeah, I kind of built a bumper in between now and then. So I pushed this truck out of the garage to do that, and now it's dead in the driveway. and it's kind of cold and it's supposed to snow, so I guess that's the perfect time to work on this in the driveway, because why wouldn't you do it that way? You know, just leave the garage empty and then put the truck you need to work on outside, because you need to work on something else that runs and drives. That makes total sense. But anyways, yeah, the reason it took a few days is I ended up ordering battery cables for it on Amazon. Why wouldn't you? Got the cables and the crimper and the cutter and the heat shrink and all the stuff to make like actually nice battery cables instead of the stupid clamp-on ones. And then something else you guys didn't see is I tried to start it one more time while I was in the garage, and yeah, the clamp-on parts store battery terminals don't hold up very good to one of these things cranking over 1,000,000 times with a 200 amp jump charger on it. And also the rusty green cable really is not good for the connection. So yeah, we're gonna replace all of this nastiness with like battery. Actually, maybe not this one. This one's kind of nice yet. Oh no, actually this one is kind of not nice. Huh. Maybe this one's fine. It has factory ends on it still, so we'll leave that for now. And then we'll just beef up all the grounds and then the battery to starter cable and see what that does. And if we need to replace the long one, we will. But for now, we'll leave what's good, because that makes sense. And then what else we gotta do? Oh yeah, I put diesel in it because it was empty, and I noticed 3 more problems I forgot about, 2 more problems I forgot about. I didn't have the filler net connected, so I kind of just did that because that was easy. Not worth filming. But also, let's see if I can't get a good view underneath it here. The exhaust is super rotten off right behind the cap, so we'll probably end up fixing that too. And I don't remember if I mentioned it, but the bed isn't bolted down. There was a third problem, but I forgot it, so we'll burn that bridge when we get there. But yeah, for now, battery cables. And see if we can get this thing started and driven into the garage so I can start cleaning it out and change out these floppy mirror brackets. Maybe that was the third thing, because no bueno. Alright, so we got our first cable done here, and here's why we're doing this. Shitty crimped on battery connection or whatever, or not even crimped on, bolt on, clamp on, whatever you want to call that, on like a 4 gauge compared to the new 2-aught heat shrink and crimped. I wish I had solder. I should probably fill these with solder, but I think just the fact that they're crimped and not that garbage. Focus, look at that. It's so gross. But also sealed so that they're not going to look like that in 2 or 3 months will help a lot. Plus, just the massive size of the cable gives us a lot more leeway for it to go bad before it's affecting performance, unlike this garbage. So, trash! And this is going on the truck. And then we'll do the other 3, 5, 4 million, whatever there are. And I don't know if you can see, it's kind of finally starting to snow a little bit. But it's like warm snow. It's weird. Maybe sleet, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, look right there. I'm not lying. But yeah, we'll just throw the rest of these cables on and then we'll crank this thing until it dies. Alright, I just pulled off the other engine ground from the other battery, and I just thought this was a little interesting. I'm hoping it shows up on the camera, but you know, this end's actually fairly normal and reasonably good-ish. If it'll focus! Focus! Okay, it's greasy, but it's fine. But the size difference there, you know. The 2-aught is obviously like twice the diameter. But check out this other end is wild. There is so much corrosion, and it is so swelled up, that it is almost the same size. Just from, see all that corrosion in the copper growing and expanding this cable. This is probably the worst battery cable I've ever seen. Yeah, look, they're like way bigger. Here, we'll even put the cable next to itself. Because All right, that's kind of harder to see, but it's no bueno. So I think that's a lot of our hard starting problem, if not even all of it. So I think we're doing the right thing, replacing these battery cables, and even if it still doesn't start, that's checking something off that we don't have to worry about causing issues anymore. So it's still a step in the right direction so that we can do actual troubleshooting if this doesn't work. All right, so we got all the battery cables replaced with these big monsters, or at least all the ones I care to replace. This one I don't think is as necessary because it's kind of just the charge wire from the alternator and then just the extra boost from the second battery. So we got the big one going to the starter and big grounds, and yeah, I think this is plenty, especially because it has good ends and it's not all corroded like the rest of them. So we're going to try it, and yeah, we'll get you on the tripod. I'm just going to try it without the jump pack first because I did put the charger on these batteries after I melted this just to try and rejuice them. But yeah, we're going to try it just with whatever's in the batteries, see what that does, and then maybe just booster pack the hell out of it and crank it till it makes noise. Good or bad noise, I suppose. I mean, I'll take anything. Even if it makes smoke, it'll be good footage. So yeah, tripod and cranking. See what happens. Think skinny? Think skinny. Yeah. I made it. That doesn't help. You're gonna let the glow plugs plug and glow for a bit? Ooh, it clicked. That's a good sign. Think skinny again. Oh, it cranked good for about a second, but yeah, we definitely are low on juice. So we get the jump pack and the jump pack, and then another jump pack on here. See if we can't just put some speed into this motor. We got the big battery charger hooked to the starter battery, little jump pack hooked to the auxiliary battery, and we're just going to keep adding electricity until there's a fire. And then when that happens, we'll take one jump pack away and we'll know we have the right amount. So we'll try this again. 2 jump packs, 2 batteries, and just crank it till it primes, because it's a dirty old pig of a 6.5 and you can't hurt them. Like a modern diesel, you might hurt it, cranking it and cranking it and cranking it like this, trying to get to prime, but this is literally the factory authorized way to get prime to these motors. Just crank them until they go. That's what it says in the owner's manual. And that's because of the indirect injection and the fact that it has 89 horsepower. So yeah, don't do this to like something nice that you care about and that actually can get out of its own way. But what we're doing here is right, and it's correct, and it's fine. All right, one more time. Okay, we're going to let this sit for a bit and build up some juice, because it's still kind of tapered off the end there. And we're also going to go to plan B at the same time, which is making the air spicier. The spicier the air, the more explodable it should be. So we'll try that and see if that helps. here's what we came up with. Get that out of there. The good old 3M high power brake cleaner. And you know it's good because right on the box there's like 37 states it says it's not in compliance with. If California says it's bad, that's how you know it's good. Basic math. Never listen to communists, so anything communists say, just do the opposite. You're probably fine. So, look at that good stuff. Let's see what this does. Hopefully something. Let's put a lot of it in there because it's going to evaporate by the time I get into the cab. Damn it, this is starting to get boring even for me, so I can't even imagine how bad it is for you people sitting at home. Yeah, it's still cranking really slow. I think that means we need more electricity, obviously. We'll try that. No fires yet, so we should be good to add more electricity. And this is all of the jump starters I have available to me at the moment. We'll see what this does. That'll be great for a video. Well, that and a little bit of an ether backfire, I think that broke the ring bridge loose, let the cylinders flop. Run smooth! Victory! Listen to it. Just listen to it. It runs exactly like a 6.5 should, which is terribly. Sweet, now we can maybe drive it into the garage and clean it out a bit. Well, it's been running a few minutes while I put tools away, and it's kind of sounding more terrible the longer it runs, but I think they're supposed to do that because it's 6.5. And it's not quite ready for a road test, but it might drive into the garage so I can get under it and actually bolt that bed down, clean all that shit out, replace it, just make it sort of more roadworthy, and also do the detective work to figure out why it was parked 12 years ago, because usually they don't just park something like this for nothing. I mean, it is smashed in the front corner. Maybe that was a lot of the reason, but who knows? So we're going to find that out, but we've kind of accomplished the scope of this video as I intended it to be, even though it took a lot longer to get there than I planned on. But we got to at least try and do a burnout too. I mean, if you don't get something running after it's been off the road for 12 years and parked for 2 without immediately trying to roast the tires with all 94 horsepower out of 6.5 liters of diesel fury. So we're going to try it. It probably will stall out and die, and then I'll be screwed and back to square one, but that's what science is for. Finding out what the limitations of things are. and rock hard old tires. But look, Mark, that's a smoke, so that's a win. Just have to do some more investigating, and I think that'll be for another time. So thanks for watching.